Welcome to Cabo Mil News and Community Update. This is Corey Riggs with Claudia Velo. And today is the, what day is today? The Sunday? It is Sunday, the 11th of October?
Well, it is.
We're recording the show for Sunday, the 11th of October at 6 p.m. on 96.3 Cabo Mil. You can also follow this interview on cabomilnews on Facebook Live. And we are so excited about today, aren't we, Claudia?
We are. I'm giggling because I'm that excited.
We have an incredible guest, and we're going to get right into it. But I want to tell a little bit of a story before we get into it, because I want to tell you how this happened. I, as you know, Claudia, I was the head of Latin America for Viva la Gente, and we just interviewed Mr. Belk, the founder of Viva la Gente, a few weeks ago. And I was working in Guadalajara, and I was working with a foundation called Telethon that was interested in possibly bringing Viva la Gente in. And so I went and I toured this facility that I'd never seen before in Guadalajara, and I was blown away by what I saw. I walked in this place. It was the happiest place on earth. It doesn't seem like it should be. There's these kids with disabilities and they're working hard with their parents, but everyone was smiling. The music that was on, the way the rehabilitation specialists were working, it was incredible. And I had already gotten offered a job with Loscabos Children's Foundation, and I had already been working on that as well. So I was doing both. And I went straight back to Los Cabos, and I found a board member that I have. Her name is Tessie Vaughn, and she runs the Questro Foundation. Mm-hmm. And I said, Tessie, we have to have this facility in Bajacaliforniasur. Mm-hmm. And from there, I was able to meet our next guest who is with us. And it's Fernando Landeros, who is the president and founder of Telethon. And we are so honored to have you here with us today. And before I let you talk, Fernando, everybody's waiting for you to talk. I just want to read a little bit about you. You're a lawyer and you studied political philosophy at Harvard. You have a master's in humanities in the history of Mexico from Anáhuac. Did I say that right, Claudia?
Anáhuac, yes, good.
Anáhuac University. Since 2002, in the magazine of Líderes Mexicanos, Mexican Leaders, he's considered one of the 300 leaders most influential in Mexico. In 2006, he was given an honorary doctorate from Anáhuac in humanities and for his altruistic work. He also has a doctorate from the University of Ort, Mexico, in humanities. In 1984, with a group of his friends, he created his first foundation called Gente Nueva. In 1993, he founded a program called Un Kilo de Ayuda. In 1997, he founded the Lazos Association, which has benefited, listen to this, over 250,000 kids in Mexico by constructing schools and offering scholarships. Also, the same year, in 1997, he created the Telethon Foundation and has benefited more than 300,000 kids with physical disabilities, kids with cancer, and kids with autism. In 2013, he received a Medal of Civic Merit from the Mexican Congress, and in 2017, he was recognized by the Queen of Spain for the prevention of disabilities. And in 2018, he received a Medal of Civilian Merit from the Mexican Congress as well. Fernando, welcome to the program. We're so honored to have you here today.
No, thank you so much, Corey. It's great to see you again. It's great to remember that beautiful story of how we started in Bajacaliforniasur, and just good memories from you. Just good memories.
No, we were just talking before we went on the air. I think the last time we saw each other, it's been about almost 10 years. And wow. and since then we do have a Cretes here in Bajacaliforniasur, a beautiful Crete that's working very well. And we'll talk about that a lot more. But also, you have a family now since I saw you. You have a beautiful wife and triplets. Tell us about that.
Well, I got married very young at 48 years old. And well, now I'm 57, and 5 years ago, we had a huge, so huge blessing of having our triplets, Fernando, Pablo, and Natalia.
Wow.
They are incredible. They teach us every day. Well, what can I tell you? That's what all parents said, but for me, it's been a beautiful experience. You get much more sensible. You feel much closer, kids, and well, yeah, it's part of many blessings in life.
No, it's amazing to have three at once. I can't even imagine.
I can't. I still can't imagine.
Lots of sleepless nights, I think, for you.
Yes, but for good reasons. Always for good reasons.
But it sounds like you had previous experience in multitasking just by listening to your trajectory. It seems like you are familiar with doing many things at the same time. So triplets, while quite a challenge and a huge blessing, might be something that you can certainly manage.
To be very honest, to get to being married and being father, I think it's the biggest challenge I have had.
And that's why I'm still single. No, just. So Fernando, tell us a little bit more about how did you get started in the philanthropic sector? We've heard a lot of the things you've done, but what called you to this?
I think it was a very spiritual inside call. Something happened when I was 17 or 18 years old. I had the privilege to meet Mother Teresa in a Congress. That certainly helped me a lot in my goals in life. You know? There was something very clear in my soul, which was that if I dedicated my life to serve people, I would never regret. So maybe I was very afraid of making mistakes in life. I was very afraid of not doing things right, and I wanted to feel very sure that my last and my first decision was the correct decision. So I was very young, but that idea got inside of me, and I said, well, I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but if I dedicate my life to serve people, to serve God, to serve my country, I know I will never regret that decision. Maybe I could have regretted other decisions, but not this one. And well, now it's been a long time since that decision started to begin, and I made the right decision. I do not regret anything. I feel very happy. It hasn't been easy, but it hasn't been wonderful to dedicate my life to this. And well, I'm glad I had that whirring inside of me to not do something wrong about the last goal in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No, it's incredible to hear you say that. And in 1984, when you first started tell us a little bit about Gente Nueva and your first foundation with your friends. And
yeah.
what that
well, I was going to say that when you're very young, you have a lot of dreams, but it's not correct to say that, because you can have any age and be full with dreams. But when you are 17 or 18 years old, maybe you have a much profound or much vivid dreams, and you are absolutely sure that you can change the world, that you can change life, that you can do whatever you propose to do. And we were, don't remember, 8 or 9 friends, and all of us went to that Congress, and all of us met Mother Teresa. And well, it's been many years from that moment, and I can tell you that maybe 80% of those kids are still doing something that it's good for their goals, no?
Wow.
Wow. You make it sound so easy, But obviously, you have dedicated your life to philanthropy, and we know from reading about you that you don't like to be called a philanthropist. Nevertheless, you have continuously been working to give and to make other people's lives better. How do you go from that young child, young adult with an idea to getting to the point where you start Teleton?
Eh, many things happen, Claudia. Well, we started Gente Nueva, which it was a foundation that was seeking to promote human values between young people. Then hunger got very inside of us, and we started Kilo de Ayuda. Then education, and then we started Lazos. I always say we because we have always been a team. I mean, I don't believe in these extraordinary leaders that, you know, I don't like neither the name philanthropist or leader. I think we work by teams and we work by heart. And when you try to be a leader, then you don't become a leader. You are a leader when you feel very deep inside, when you really want what you want, when you really love what you love, no? And then people follows you as a consequence. But there was always something that I was lacking inside of me, even though I work with values, with young people, with leadership, with hunger, with education. And when I had the chance to meet the first kid with disability, it was love at first sight. It was love at first sight. I could find inside of me all the power, all the light, all the courage, all the suffer inside of me that gave me the passion inside to try to achieve the impossible. And since that moment, I really don't want to do anything else but what I do. I don't want to start anything else because this fills me all my heart, all my soul.
Wow.
It's incredible. The first moment that I stepped into the Crete in Guadalajara, and now I've been into several Cretes. And Crete, just for our audience, it's the term that's used for the rehabilitation centers that Telethon helps to fund and runs. And actually, you step into these, and all the things you're saying, Fernando, you can tell that everyone there feels the same way in their heart. They're doing what they love, and the kids, they're smiling and they're getting better, and the families and the hope that is given to the families, it's incredible. And one of the things is in this area is we take a lot of people from the United States and we take them to the Crete up in La Paz, or we show them because they don't really even realize what's happening here. But the Crete is one of the most world-class facilities I've ever seen. And it's in what makes it world-class is not just the level of the rehabilitation specialists and the therapists, it's the overall, the way that you take care of every aspect of the child and the family. And it just brims with joy and positiveness. And just talk a little bit about that, how that happens and how the therapists work there, and just the joy that comes out of these Cretes. Everyone I've ever taken there is blown away.
Yeah, I think what happens, Corey, and somebody asked me, our human resources program is so good that they feel so happy to work inside. And no. To be honest, it's the kids. They are so close, so similar to God that they smile, they love, they don't argue, they don't ask for nothing, they accept everything. They are full of peace. It's impossible not to fall in love with them. It's like when you have a concept of God with an unconditional love, you found a lot of things that are very, very look-alike, very similar to the kids. So if you have the silence to go inside a Crete, and you have the silence inside of you to feel and to look and to touch, well, it's impossible to to turn back. You just fall in love, and you have to take a deep dive inside, and that's what makes all the people that works inside so happy, because they give us so much. I don't know if it's a blasphemy to say that they're so similar to God, but you receive so much that we're delighted to be there.
I have to say also, from the other side, the side of the children and the families, the Crete, the way the facility is so well thought out and so beautiful, and every detail is really thought out. The children, even though they are there to face their own challenges, they love it. They love the opportunity to be there. And so I think it's this kind of like virtuous cycle where the Crete is offering a safe haven where they can really work to overcome their disabilities, and at the same time they're giving back all these love. Because the first time I was at the Crete, it was, I couldn't believe it. I was afraid to go because I cried with everything. And I thought I'm not going to be able to see all these children, and I was kind of like preparing myself, and then to see how happy they were was such a joy, and it gives you this warm feeling. But I also got a lot of this feeling that they were in a place that they were enjoying themselves, even though it's hard work. They are working hard, but at the same time they're enjoying it, and to have a space that offers that, I think it's a true blessing.
Yeah, you know that, Claudia, I believe there is a word that it's dignity, that it's so powerful and it's so important, and it gives you so much light of doing the correct thing. But I think dignity also has at least in a Crete two sides. One, it's obviously the ethics. No, you have to have inside of you all the ethics to attend the kids, but also the aesthetics. I think the aesthetics has to follow the ethics. And when you live in a beautiful place, that it's clean, that it's full of colors, full of light, I mean, that's dignity. That's dignity. You cannot talk about dignity if you are not like a mirror of the light of the people. So we have always thought about those two things. And well, yes, we visited many rehab centers around the world, many hospitals. We took a lot of ideas, beautiful ideas from all the world. And then we put together the Telethon rehab system.
It's the first time Corey is left speechless, I have to say.
I am speechless. I just want to keep listening to Fernando, but yes. Fernando, you know that it means so much for me personally for you to be here. And, you know, my heart has always been with Telethon since I arrived in Mexico and sitting there. And how has it been with COVID now? And I know there's a lot of challenges for all nonprofits out there. What has it been like? I know that Telethon offered their facilities for COVID hospitals, some of them, and what has happened since then? Where are we with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everyone would respond with all the challenges that we have had, but for all, I mean, sometimes life presents you things that you cannot change, that are not under your control. So when things like this happens, like COVID, you have to think inside of you that this is also part of a perfect plan. perfect plan, although it doesn't seem a perfect plan. But let me tell you good things about it. We learned a lot about telehealth, telerehabilitation, which we really didn't know so much. So that was good because a little bit more than 70% of our patients are now doing telehealth or telerehabilitation at their homes. This means that mom and dad now, which didn't happen maybe 6 months ago, know perfectly how to do a therapy for their kids. That's a blessing. That's a blessing for a family. It was also a blessing that with all the donations and all the donors that we've had for 23 years, we had a great facility to attend people with the COVID. When we saw that they were building like a very, how can I say, hospitals, but not the best ones, or that they were trying to rehabilitate places like gyms or all other places, we said, we are not a hospital, but we can convert our rehabilitation centers into a better place for people with COVID. And we had almost 400 beds in the whole country, which is like a big hospital. And we had the chance to do something which was important for the whole country. So we see this as an opportunity. Of course, now we're very happy that 95% of our Cretes are again attending disabled kids. And soon all of them will be attending kids again. But that's how life presented. And we try to see the best things in this great challenge that we all had in the world.
Yeah, one of the things we always talk about is this was a huge challenge, and what came out of it here in Baja California Sur was this alliance that we put together of over 100 businesses, 90 nonprofits, and Telethon was part of that. And the Crete here helped us by housing equipment, medical equipment, and Maria Elena, who I work with all the time, an amazing director that you have here. She was definitely a big part of helping us get through this, and we were able to feed over 90,000 families over the last 6 months, and provide medical equipment to many of the hospitals. And it really had to do with everyone came together, and there was this huge collaboration. That we're going to talk about more about collaborations, but just thank you to Telethon, what they did not only all over the country, but also in Baja California Sur that affected us. But it was just an amazing thing that brought everybody together.
I think, Corey, all of us are better. We are better human beings, and maybe something just as big as this had to happen to move us inside and make us better human beings.
No, it's great. And I think we're going to take a break. Are we ready to take a break, Claudia?
Yes, we are.
We'll take a break on being better human beings. It's a good place to break.
Yes.
And everybody will be right back with Fernando Landeros. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Corey.
Community update. Well, glad I have to tell you, my heart is full. This is incredible. We're back with Fernando Landeros, the president and founder of Telethon. And we were talking right before we went to the break, we were talking about collaboration, and we were talking about the Baja California Sur Community Alliance. I want to show an example of collaboration. And you can see the screen here. If you're on Facebook Live, you can see this is the Telethon Bus. And when we first started about a year and a half ago, when I came back to Los Cabos, I was with Los Cabos Children's Foundation before, and I'm now back with the El Dorado and Chileno Bay Foundation. The first project we put together with Telethon and Los Cabos Children's Foundation and several others was this Telethon Bus. And Fernando, you were talking about transport. You were talking about the word dignity, and it hits so hard because this bus, it really is about dignity and transportation with dignity. A lot of these kids are going up to the Crete. It's about 2 hours away, and they were having to get on a public transportation. There was not room for their wheelchairs. There was no place to just click in their wheelchairs. There was no ramp to pull them up. And now they get on a bus that is bright colored. You were talking about the bright colors, and they are having fun along the way. And just one more, we're going to let you comment on it, but just one more shot I want to show you, because it's so important to talk about collaboration. And you see all the people that were involved in this. And this bus does more than take kids just up to the Crete to get rehabilitation. All the foundations can use it. And it takes kids up to Salvatierra Hospital, because that's the only place in Baja California Sur where there's specialty medical care for children. And so this isn't just about Telethon, this is about everybody. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone that was involved in this. And Fernando, thank you for allowing this to happen as well.
No, Corey, thank you so much, because as we were talking a little bit early, yes, of course, it's transportation with dignity, but it's much more than that. It's transportation to reaching goals. It's transportation to achieve hope. It's transportation to feel loved, to feel supported. It's like bringing children in our own hands to their destiny, to their best destiny in the world. So a bus, it's like a wheelchair. It means much more than just moving your body. It's moving your soul to the most important goals in life, which is hope.
I mean, it's I don't know what to say next, Claudia.
No.
It's beautiful, Fernando, what you're saying. And I do have to say, on the side of this bus, it says transportando amor y esperanza. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's transporting love and hope. And it has given so much hope. And it's so wonderful when you see this going down the road, and all the people. We had over 60 donors that got involved in this, new people that have never donated before, people that are now getting to know what Telethon is. They're getting to know what all these other foundations are, and getting much more involved in Los Cabos and in Baja California Sur in general. And that also is what you're talking about, because this is much more than a bus. It's about getting people involved and getting people excited. And there's a lot of Americans that live down here, Canadians that live down here part-time, and they haven't known how to get involved. And they're an important part of this community. And through this has given an avenue. And I think it's a very important part of, they're important part of the community, and they're an important part to keep developing, to get more and more involved in Telethon and other organizations.
Oh, yes. I think everyone can get involved with this cause, with this or with other cause. It's a matter of letting you feel, of giving you the chance to see, to look, to understand a reality that it's different than yours, but it's a very meaningful reality. It's so meaningful that by this way of looking, of seeing to another reality, you understand much better life. You understand much better suffering, happiness, heaven, unity, humanity. So it's as important as this.
Absolutely. And one of the things we were speaking about, and please go to Facebook Live, you can watch this interview there. There's lots of bonus material, and you get a lot of great lines from Fernando. And I don't want to say they're lines, because they're just what you're saying is coming from your heart, and it's truly amazing. So you want to go see Facebook Live as well as listening to this. There's a lot of challenges now about raising money, and obviously I know personally, we're a grant giving organization here. There's a lot of nonprofits that have gotten in trouble from their with lockdowns and what's happened with COVID, and they don't have operational funds. And how is Telethon facing this challenge? Because it's a big one. You guys have, I don't know how many, 20, how many centers do you have, Fernando?
24, Corey.
24.
Well,
so what are you doing to face this challenge? What is what's the secret for the rest of it?
Problems are always going to be there. Difficulties are always going to be there. So it's not the size of the difficulties or the size of the problems. It's the size of your dreams, what we have to think about. Maybe we have one of the most difficult events in our life, in our world, in our country, but that's something we already know. So difficulties, yes, today, tomorrow, and yesterday. Sometimes are bigger, sometimes are not so big, but there has always been, and there will always be difficulties. Now is this, I don't know what's going to happen next year or in 5 years, but I mean, at least in these 23 years that I've been leading Telethon, I've had political difficulties, earthquakes, well, whatever you say. So where we have to focus right now, it's not on the size of the difficulties, but on the size of our dreams, on the size of our efforts, on the size of our strength. And starting from that point, do whatever we think, whatever we feel that we have to do. And there has to be an open door. Of course, there has to be. Maybe, again, we talk about numbers and we say, well, maybe you are going to become a little bit smaller or not so big. Well, sometimes there's nothing else we can do, but that doesn't have to give us this courage. We have to keep on dreams. And if difficulties are now and are going to be tomorrow, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about goals, and let's talk about faith, and let's talk about hope, and we will be surprised by the miracles of life. I'm sure we will.
Focus not on the size of the difficulties, but on the size of the dreams. Wow, that is something that all of us can hear right now, and should hear, and should take into our heart. What a great thing. I've got a lot of these things that I need to write down and start putting them in a book.
Quotes really to persevere and to make miracles happen. That should be the name of the book. And from listening to you, I am understanding that you believe in human kindness in general. When facing these challenges, and these are challenges that all non-for-profit organizations are facing, the fact that fundraising is even more challenging than it used to be. But is that correct? Are you implying that there is this innate human kindness, and that is what's going to make things happen?
Yes. If we are better people, I'm sorry for my English, but better people, it's better for foundations. Mm-hmm. So all the people, like all of us that try to serve, I'm sure we are going to find outside better people, more sensible people that now is absolutely convinced that we are connected. Absolutely connected. So I think there's going to be like a conscious evolution that at the end, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at the end, it's going to be better for all the causes that we serve. I'm sure about it.
And Fernando, are you planning, is there planning to be a telethon this year? Is there one coming this year?
Yeah.
Are there changes because of COVID? Are they? And just for everyone at home, what happens is it's 24 hours, correct? That it goes on for.
Yeah, well, it used to be 24 hours. Now it's 18 hours. And
Okay.
yes, we are going to have it the 5th of December. You have to be very crazy to organize a telethon this year. Yeah, but we are a little bit crazy. So it's going to be absolutely different. It's going to be the most difficult telethon of our times, of our lives, but we are going to do it. We are not going to put a goal, an economic goal as every year, because there's too much stress in society. We don't want to stress society more than is now. But we want to tell people, you put the goal, you put the economic goal, you give whatever you think you can. It's not a matter of amount, it's a matter of how many donate, even though it's a small amount. So yes, we're going to do it, and I'm sure even though it's the most difficult telethon of our lives, a lot of blessings are going to come out of this telethon.
Mm-hmm. And just to give context to our listeners, the telethon that happens in Mexico is very similar to maybe what you remember as the Jerry Lewis telethon in the United States, that would also go for 24 hours. And I remember, you know, when I first met you back in 2000, I think it was 2009, Fernando, and just watching you when you would do the telethons, I always wondered, what's it like putting out all that energy and going for those many hours? I can just imagine, you know, doing productions myself, imagine what it takes to get ready and the weeks before that, and even in closing up after. What is that like? It must be.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really is. You have to put all the faith in your life, because there are too many things. I mean, it's impossible to really organize an 18 live TV event with so many things inside, with so many difficulties, with so many goals, production goals, economic goals, communication goals, marketing goals. So you just have to do the best you can, and then you have to rest. And to have the faith that on the other side of the TV or the computer or the cell phone, there's people like you that want to feel, that want to achieve, goals, united goals, and people that want to do something for the others, and that's it. But, I mean, we work a lot the whole year, but there's a moment when you have to like lose everything and say, okay, I trust in life.
Well, I can just imagine, in just putting together smaller productions, the amount of personalities that you're dealing with, and all your board members and everybody. It's what an incredible thing, because it comes across in an incredible way. And I know that the funds are you raise a lot of funds and help with the operations of all the 24 facilities you're talking about. And sometimes you're raising funds to do a new facility. And I don't think, when's the last time that you did a new facility?
It was in 2014, the Cretes in Baja California Norte.
Okay.
Wow.
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Okay. So the fundraising has now been to help support the operations of the substantial number of incredible facilities that you have. And you also have a center of cancer, correct?
Yes, we have a hospital in Querétaro, and also a center for kids with autism.
That's excellent. So there's lots of different situations. Now we talked a little bit about collaboration, and I know that Telethon collaborates with a lot of for-profit partners. What is the secret of that, Fernando, that you've seen? Is the collaboration from the nonprofit sector with the for-profit sector?
A secret. Let me think a little bit. Maybe Having a very honest goal, a very clear goal, a very transparent goal, where there's just one very clear interest in all the efforts of non-profits and for-profits. And when there's an honest goal, it's like a glue. You can bring together many parts that are not together always. But if everything has to do with an honest goal.
Mm-hmm. I think we saw that here, Claudia, with the Baja California Sur Community Alliance. There was one goal, and everyone needed to jump in and do it. And so that's great. That's great advice.
When there's transparency, as you said, just clear communication, and then hopefully you're working with like-minded people. And like you said, putting together Telethon is a little bit crazy, but I'm sure that they're very rewarding experiences. Can you please share with us your fondest memory of Telethon putting together and madness?
Yeah, it's impossible to choose one. For example, just an hour ago, I received a message from my mom at the cancer hospital in Querétaro. And first, I thought it was going to be like a complaint because it started with, I would have loved to write to you to give you good news, but unfortunately, my kid died last night, and I'm very sad. And well, you can imagine. And I said, well, what happened? And then she finished, but I want to thank you. I want to thank God. I want to thank all the donors of that hospital, because my kid went to heaven in peace. So, for example, we are not the owners of life. We cannot decide on life. We just do what love and science has to do, and the rest is up to God, up to to God. So sometimes when things like this happen, you just have to, the biggest goal is to give them peace in their last moment. And well, if someone did it for one of my kids, that would make me very happy.
Yeah. Wow.
Fernando, what are the next goals regarding Cretes and Telethon in Mexico? What are you looking forward to? I know there's a lot of challenges right now, and we've talked about those, but what are some of those dreams that we've been speaking about?
Yeah, well, in terms of material goals or practical goals, to be able to maintain our infrastructure, to use it at its highest level, hopefully at 100% infrastructure, that would be our most concrete goal in a very short period. Our deepest goal is to help our country to be part of a project that makes Mexicans come together, achieve a goal, achieve a goal that it's a love goal, a generosity goal, a hope goal. And because maybe in terms of our psychology as a country, the spiritual reserves as a country, that's even more important than the economic goal.
Well, I can say that wow. Definitely in Baja California Sur, that's what it's done for the whole community here, is changed the consciousness here and given a lot of people hope, and gotten a lot of new people involved, and a lot of people from all over the world. As you know, Baja California Sur is a home to many people from different places. And one of the things we work on, as we spoke about earlier in the program, is to get some of the foreign community more involved in Telethon. One of the things we work on is it's in our foundation, when we're working on the Telethon Bus, is giving tours, taking people up to the Crete. And is, as you know, once people see it, they're hooked. What are some other keys or thoughts from you? And I know there's a Crete in San Antonio as well in the United States. What are some of the thoughts about getting the foreign community involved, and what are some of the things that you may give us some advice about, Fernando?
It's so important, Corey. As I said before, we are all connected. It's not true that what happens in Mexico stays in Mexico, and what happens in the States stays in the States. We are all connected, and we belong to the same family, and doing the best for others is doing the best for ourselves. So, for example, in Telethon Foundation, we have Mexican Telethon Foundation and Telethon USA, and we try to work a lot together, and we try to invite people that really wants to change the world by doing something very specific, very concrete, something that has a name and a last name. And of course, we invite all of them to help this cause, because it's not helping a cause, it's helping a life, it's helping a family, it's helping hope, it's doing a much better work for all of us.
No, it's definitely something that has changed everything here, and we will continue to get more people out to see it. And Claudia, you've been up to the Crete in La Paz, right?
In La Paz, yeah.
And it's shaped like a starfish. It's so beautiful.
I remember it was shortly after I met you that you said we're going to have a Crete here in La Paz, and I remember thinking, yeah, right. And
yeah,
we did.
I actually said we're going to have a Crete here in Los Cabos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not going to get into that story, but it is incredible that it's in La Paz, and it's in Bajacaliforniasur.
Yeah, it used to be that everybody had to go to Ciudad Obregón, across the Sea of Cortez, to get any kind of treatment, any kind of therapy. So the fact that it's within the state, it's just such a huge achievement, and it has really literally changed the lives of so many families, and like you said earlier, brought us hope and made hope tangible, because sometimes it's hard to take all these higher values and higher thoughts and make them tangible for people who are dealing with, where am I going to get my next meal? But then something like Cretes and what Telethon Foundation does makes it tangible and makes hope tangible, and the bus, the Dignity Bus, makes it tangible. And so if we focus on those things and put a face and a name, like you said, it's amazing.
When I kind of joked about having it in Los Cabos, there's still hope for that at some point, a small, maybe something here. But we now have I know Maria Elena is laughing right now. She's watching this, and she hears it every time I see her. But now we have the bus here, and we feel like there's a piece of Telethon definitely always in Los Cabos, and it definitely is part of here. I also want to mention, we're going to take another break quickly, but just want to thank also Tom Walsh, the founder of Los Cabos Children's Foundation. He was very involved with us and many other people during that time to help get a Crete in Bajacaliforniasur, and the governor at the time definitely stepped up and helped us do that. And just a wonderful thing. But Fernando, if you can stick with us a few more minutes, we're going to be right back, and we'll say goodbye. I don't think we want to say goodbye, but we will.
Nope.
Everyone stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
3, 2.
Welcome back to Cabo News and Community Update in English with Corey Rees and Claudia Velo. We are with Fernando Landeros, the president and founder of Telethon. And Fernando, we just want to thank you for an incredible interview, for you to spend this much time with us. And I think for inspiring all of us. everyone in the audience that's heard this, everyone that's going to watch this, it was incredibly inspirational, and we just can't thank you enough for spending the time. And we also can't thank you enough for what you've done in the world and what you continue to do in the world. And just thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Corey and Claudia. Thank you for loving so much our Crete in Baja. Thank you for supporting our kids, for supporting the foundation, for those transportation of hope and love for so many kids. And of course, I always want to invite, this is a project made by many, so I always want to invite people to keep on helping, to keep on supporting the children. They deserve the best in the world.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that. And I know before we completely say goodbye, Claudia, we have a sponsor. We're going to talk about.
Yes. As you know, October 1st, the Casa Calavera Los Cabos restaurant opened. It is a Day of the Dead inspired restaurant, and they are located inside Vidanta Los Cabos in San Jose del Cabo. For now, they're open for dinner from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and they have their tasty tacos back. Also, they're offering 20% of your entire bill as a discount if you're a local. So make sure you go there, enjoy tacos, and ask for your local discount. Also, because they are following all the protocols, you need to make your reservation either through OpenTable, or you can do it online at casacalavera.com. They do have good tacos. So
I can't wait. Can't wait to try it out. Claudia, why don't you give us a short what happened in the program today in Spanish, please?
Sin llorar, el día de hoy tuvimos la presencia del señor Fernando Landeros, presidente y fundador de Fundación Teletón, y estuvo hablando con nosotros acerca del trabajo que se ha realizado y la filosofía de filantropía, aunque no le gusta esa palabra, pero la filosofía de dar, de ser generosos y de ver más allá de los problemas y siempre enfocarse en la esperanza y en el tamaño de los sueños. Sí.
Fernando, thank you again for being here. My heart is full. You've left us all with our hearts full, and we hope to have you back sometime soon and have a share with you. Maybe after the Telethon in December, we can have you back and you can talk about it. We'll give you some time to rest afterwards. Before
So February. We'll call you in February.
That's great. No, thank you so much, Corey. Thank you so much, Claudia, and thank you for all the people that listens to this program.
Thank you so
We're getting
much.
those people together to get that Crete here in Los Cabos. So anyway,
we have a goal. We're going to do a vision board for Corey's Crete in Los Cabos to make it happen.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.
Thank you so much. Catch you next time.
Thank you.